speaking of super, I wanted to talk about one very important thing that everybody should understand when you're kind of like evaluating and staying up to date with osmosis, right? And that is superfluid staking. So I think it's important to bring this up now to understand also what makes osmosis so different to other platforms out there, right? And I will try to explain it very short and in very simple terms, and also in analogy to liquid staking, which is another concept that DeFi users enables DeFi users to earn additional yield. What liquid staking is doing, let's start with that one. Liquid staking basically liquefies your staked asset, right? We've seen P-Stake being the pioneer in that field. By the Persistence One team, P-Stake basically means you can go on their platform, you can bring liquid atom to that platform, then you stake them through P-Stake. In the back end, those atoms get distributed actually on chain to real validators on the Cosmos chain, right, on the Cosmos hub. But then in return, you get a staked representation on the Ethereum chain, not on the Cosmos chain, but on the Ethereum chain of that staked atom, right? Which is programmed in a way that it accrues value against atom and basically simulates that interest that is being staked. I think right now it's fixed at 7%, even though the staking rewards are a bit higher, but I think they also have to have a sort of buffer to, like, you know, prevent any sort of like security risk or anything that could under collateralize the whole protocol, the whole system. But basically that's what it is. And then you can go ahead, take your STK asset. They started with Atom, Persistence as well, XPRT now there. And there's going to be many others, right? So imagine you have all your staked coins from the Cosmos ecosystem, and you can provide them as liquidity on SushiSwap, which is where it's right now. There's already a pool for it, right? You can provide your STK Atom and your ETH on Ethereum on SushiSwap as liquidity, and there will be a reverse airdrop for that. So that's how they incentivize it. However, especially about this sort of design, the downside is that you don't have the benefits of Tendermint, right, and IBC, right, because now we're in Ethereum. I have been on the Twitter spaces though of P-Stake. They will implement also IBC. I think in Q1 next year. I don't recall exactly what they said. I think early next year. And then you also have STK assets on Osmosis, right? You can provide liquidity, for example, with your STK asset. So that's kind of like the version. First, you stake, and second, you can do DeFi. You can yield farm. You can provide liquidity, right? That's liquid staking. Superfluid staking basically turns this around, and now first that you do is you provide liquidity, and then you get an LP token, which you then can stake on chain, right? The downside or the risk of that I'm seeing here, and I don't know if that's already being resolved or what's the kind of like design intention for that, is to prevent, or how do you calculate the impermanent loss, right? Because if you provide liquidity with two coins, right, with a pair, one of the coins is going to outperform the other, so there's less coins in the pool. So how do you make sure that you have a, I don't know, reserve ratio or whatever you want to call it, that prevents impermanent loss, or at least mitigates it, right? That's why the high APRs on Osmosis, also to kind of like balance that out from a user perspective. But I don't know how to balance it out on a protocol perspective. I guess we have to wait and see. But anyways, that's the reverse of it, so that you can provide security to the chain after you provide liquidity. Basically, the staking protocol would accept a different form of collateral, right? And then through IBC, you can even think this further, and you can say, hey, instead of just providing liquidity for Osmosis, just staking Osmosis with my LP token, I can actually stake both of the coins, right, natively on both chains through IBC. In that way, you would earn LP rewards, and you would also earn staking rewards, right? Plus, you would secure the chain. You would be incentivized to secure the chain, which is something that is currently not possible, right? Anyways, I hope this helps to understand superfluid staking. I have this deal with Sunny that if it doesn't get delivered by the end of February, then he has to shave his hair, his head bald. So let's see if that's going to happen. I hope it ships fast, but I also hope that, I would like to see Sunny bold. So let's see. And lastly,